Welcome to the video version of the Santu Pirls Stock Market Commentary for December 20th, 2015. Market breadth. With this past week's market decline, our bull-bear point and figure ratio at 0.48 rose slightly from 0.42 last week, remaining in bearish territory. The total count of securities in bullish or bearish patterns rose 3% to 3,092. The count of bearish stocks decreased 2%, while the count of stocks in bullish patterns increased 13%. The Santu Pirls P&F Market Breadth Summary Chart shows us a market, now 28 consecutive weeks, in bearish territory. Paid subscribers have access to the Open Office Calc data from which the chart is generated. You may become a paid subscriber by visiting s2pmarketsignal.com, clicking Membership, clicking Register, and following the prompts. To subscribe to the free email version of the Santu Pirls Stock Market Commentary, simply enter your email address in the appropriate spot. The well-known market breadth indicator, the Nasdaq McClellan Summation Index, fell 154 points for the sixth decline in 16 weeks. At a negative 301.11 points, it continues below all 7 tops above plus 100, has now fallen below the February 2015 low, and continues above all 4 remaining bottoms below minus 100 in the last 3 years. Volume analysis. In this week's volume analysis, the Nasdaq Composite Index ended in distribution mode with average daily volume higher than the prior week. In the last 2 weeks, the Nasdaq had 1 accumulation day and 4 distribution days. Accumulation days are counted when the index closes up on higher volume than the prior market day, while distribution days occur when the index closes down on volume higher than the prior market day. Last week, the Nasdaq ended in distribution mode on lower average daily volume. Momentum. At Wednesday 12/16 close, the CCI 20 daily had 6 days below zero for a change in trend to down in Woody's CCI system. At Thursday 12/17 close, the CCI 20 daily formed a zero-line reject pivot short entry signal for Friday 12/18 open. We will continue to follow this trade simulation in next week's commentary. In Woody's CCI trading system, 6 consecutive bars above or below zero are required for a change of trend. The weekly CCI 20 of the Nasdaq Composite Index began a Woody's uptrend 3 weeks ago, while the daily CCI 20 began a Woody's downtrend this past week. The CCI 20 weekly at 20.91 declined from positive 35.01 last week and continues within the plus or minus 50 range for a valid zero-line reject long entry signal if the CCI 20 weekly rises next week. Industry rotation the last 2 weeks. Only one of the top industries is positive, and all of the bottom 5 industries are negative. Bullish S&P Retail continues in the top 5. REITs has entered the top 5. Disk drives has left the bottom 5. Gold and silver has left the top 5. Bearish, brokers, and computer hardware have entered the bottom 5. Oil and oil services have left the bottom 5. Focus this week. In the holiday spirit, we point you to The Devil's Holiday Letter, 2015, evidently channeled by Charles Hugh Smith. A brief taste of the blog post follows. My minions in the Federal Reserve, such loyal servants, continue feeding an orgy of leverage and debt, spreading ruination under the false guise of prosperity. What a delicious irony that the fools doomed to eternal damnation in my empire believe themselves prosperous as they absorb the poison of exponentially rising leverage and debt. My lackeys in the central state have made a mockery of the rule of law, letting financial crimes go not just unpunished, but rewarded. The blatant injustice that roams the land like a foul, slobbering beast. There are two sets of laws and two sets of books now, one for the financial elites and their political toadies, and another one for the tax donkeys beneath them. This will eventually ignite the firestorm I seek. American extravagance has surpassed even my highest expectations, as purveyors of luxury goods reap record profits, and the childish desire for instant gratification has become the unspoken ruler of the land. Convenience is now worshipped as a god, sitting triumphant beside entitlement, greed, indignation, and willful ignorance. If ignorance were treasure, the American political class must be declared wealthier than Midas, for its ignorance and hubris have reached a pinnacle I can truly admire. Ensnared by their lust for power, blinded by their greed for fame and perquisites, they look no further than the next election cycle, dooming their nation to division, disharmony, and the desolation of permanent conflict over the dwindling productive assets of this once great nation. The people cry out to be saved by the government as if it was a savior instead of a vast machine consolidating the wealth of the nation in the hands of the few at the expense of the many, investing it in corruption, parasitic financial schemes, military misadventures, homeland security. Ha! Isn't that a jewel as the nation withers from within? And the unyielding oppression of the remaining productive members of society. Americans no longer hate me. They hate sacrifice with a passion that enlivens my enthusiasm for their self-destruction. I await 2016 with high expectations. Most sincerely yours, Satan. End quote. Thank you for tuning in for this week's Pirls Stock Market Commentary, featuring the proprietary Bull-Bear Point and Figure Market Breadth Summary Chart, compiled by Donald Pearl, www.s2pmarketsignal.com. Hoping that you are enjoying a peaceful and pleasant weekend, that you are merrily looking forward to a prosperous, productive, and celebratory week coming up. Wishing you Merry Christmas and, as always, true success.